Hello, I'm Richard Ridge for Broadway World. Pop star Joey Fatone from NSYNC has returned to Broadway, stepping into the role of Lance in the hit musical Juliet, now through March 16th, and I caught up with him at the Civilian Hotel. Well, first off, welcome back to Broadway. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. It feels weird because it's been so many years now. I'm definitely older. I'm not sure if I'm wiser, for that matter of fact. But it's been great. You know what? It's one of those things where it feels like you never left. Seriously, when you come back, obviously it's a different show, different time, but it's amazing to be back. The cast and crew and everybody has been amazing with open arms. Crazy enough, even the backstory as far as how, even the show and Juliet came about, and how I know the people behind it as far as producers and Tim Hennington and Teresa Page and all these people that have actually started that ball rolling to get this show what it was from the get-go. So it's funny to see, well, not funny, but it's amazing to see how it has grown and how big the show's gotten to where they're like, hey, we'd love for you to play a part of it. I'm like, sign me up, I'm down. So finally figured out a time to do it, and this was the perfect time. Obviously, I have a busy schedule, always trying to do other things. We just wrapped up a tour myself with AJ from Backstreet Boys, and and then this was the kickoff to do Broadway. So back in Broadway doing Juliet, playing Lance, and it's been great. It's been wonderful so far.
So let's talk about Lance. What's it like playing him? What do you love about him?
You know what? What I don't like about him at first is the accent, because I can't do a French accent. It is awful. So if you want to see a fun, and that's the part, the fun part about this character and about the show itself is certain things are not taken too seriously, but there are very serious moments at hand in the show as well, but and very dear and sincere. And I think that's what I love about the character. Lance is funny, quirky, a very reprimandable dad in a sense. He's very stern with his son. He wants him to get married, or you're going to join the army like your brothers, kind of thing. So it's one of those turn of events where he's so wound up in it as far as a character. He's not really seeing his son and wanting him to be happy. And, he's always been scared to do something and always wanted, his son to fight for whatever he believes in. And that's kind of what in that sense, the character. And I think that's what's so great about this character is I come in, couple jokes, couple laughs. This is funny. Then there's a sweet and tender side of me, like a love kind of scene kind of thing. And then there's the sweet and more tender side as far as, singing with my son and talking and having this conversation of, love is love and I love you no matter what kind of thing. So it's great. It's beautiful.
Then there are the songs.
Then there are other songs where there are Backstreet Boys songs. I don't even sing an NSYNC song, but it's fun. I've sang many Backstreet Boys songs before, and I think it's always funny when people have never seen that or don't even understand that. Again, Max Martin wrote a bunch of our songs and a bunch of Backstreet Boys songs. They do sound kind of similar because he produced them, but it's great. It's fun. I think it's great, and it's really the one I love is "Shape of My Heart." It's such a sweet and wonderful song, and again, the two songs I actually do get to sing. One's with the mashup with Angelique, and then the other one, of course, like I said, is "Shape of My Heart," which again, it's a ballad. It's a beautiful song. "Break Free" is the other song I sing with Angelique, and that's a fun one. That's like just in love and kind of groove. I don't know. It's just such a great character. I love it. And again, I'm not on the stage a whole lot, which is even better because I don't want to screw up any more than I need to. But yeah, I had like 10 days or like almost a week and a half to rehearse, and then you're in. Not many people know how crazy of a grind Broadway really is. You do 8 shows a week, and it's a commitment. You literally have one day off. That's it. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that first performance on stage. With a full audience, what do you remember?
Well, nothing. It was all a blur. I swear, I went off the first scene. I walked out. I walked off stage. I go, what just happened? Like, it went on automatic pilot. There was 1 or 2 little flub ups, nothing too crazy, but everything went fairly well. It's just a matter of, again, there's a lot of things in your brain that you're going into because, first of all, you haven't really rehearse with the full cast. So you're getting thrown in. The band is really the first time you're playing with the full band. People are moving and going and that you're not used to seeing at all. And you kind of, make sure you know where your space is. I'm trying to memorize my lines, the songs, where I'm standing, if I have a prop, what am I wearing? Do I do a quick change? Where's that happening? Okay, let's figure that out. So a lot of things really go through your mind very quickly. And, again, I think that's what's fun about live theater. It always keeps you on your toes. It always, you always have to be present on stage no matter what, and even off stage as well. You always got to be present on there. So, yeah.
But this is such a fun show, and it's a free show, so I'm sure you can walk off and be like, you know what? I'll do it all tomorrow.
Exactly. I'll do it again. And if I screw up, I screw up. It's live. It's live. It happens. But again, I think that's what's the most beautiful thing about that. You're seeing for people that normally are sitting at home watching a movie or some sort of musical on TV, it's amazing to see something live and the production and what goes on and how it goes on, where not many people get a chance to see that stuff and the movements that happen, even backstage. I think it would be amazing to do a show to where, and I'm sure they have once before, but where you do a show where you're seeing the backstage, you're seeing everything that goes on backstage, not everything up front. You're always seeing the cue calls. You're always hearing, and it's amazing hearing that stuff and what goes on and the person, making those cues of everything. Lights go up, lights go out. Here we go. This and that. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Everybody flies in from all over the world to see Juliet on Broadway. I mean, what is it about this show?
Again, I think it's everything about the show. It has heart. It has comedy. It has great songs. I mean, these are hits after hits after hits from Max Martin. And again, like you said, it's from Celine Dion to Kelly Clarkson, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, Bon Jovi, even It's My Life. So I'm thinking of all the songs in my head going through all of them, and it's just a fun song, a fun show. Also, it gives a little bit of history. You have William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway. Not the actress Anne Hathaway. It's really Anne Hathaway. It's a real. Never mind. See the show. So it's one of those things where you're getting a play within a play, and that's I think the beauty of it too. They're talking about they're going to get ready to perform William Shakespeare's play, and then all of a sudden Shakespeare's wife is kind of like, well, you know what? I love you writing, but maybe a little different perspective, if you will. And that's kind of how the ball starts rolling, and she starts writing it with him, and all hell breaks loose when all of a sudden the characters are doing their own thing because some confrontation happens with Will and Anne, and things turn awry, which is always a blast and fun to do when you start to see and start to watch the show and what certain symbolizes and certain things are in the show that you've never seen before. That's why I love seeing shows 2 or 3 times, because then you notice or see things that you didn't notice before.
Bringing your fan base who might have never seen a Broadway show going to see something on Broadway for the first time. Like, oh my gosh, they do plays live.
Yeah.
What that means to introducing a whole new audience to the theater.
You know what that means? A lot, because it's a whole nother side of entertainment that maybe not many people have got a chance to see, and that's what I think is interesting too. Especially coming to New York, and I think that's what makes Broadway Broadway. People come here, of course, they're tourists, they want to come see New York City itself, but you got to see New York City, you got to see a Broadway show. And like you said, there's people that have been like, listen, I've been a fan of you from NSYNC, but I'm seeing a Broadway show for the first time. And I think this is a great show to ease into somebody that have never seen a Broadway show before, because again, you're familiar with the music, you're familiar with these songs, and it ties into these scenarios in the script. But when you go down, if you go down the rhythm of going to, seeing Sunset Boulevard, or going back and even seeing, if you want to go even further, Pirates of Penzance back in the day. We're talking about operettas now. We're going into deeper stuff where it's amazing to see younger kids spark the interest. What I think is truly amazing when they see the history of what Broadway, back in the day was up until now. It's amazing. Again, like I said, from the simplest things back in the day to now how much high tech and special effects that they have and things that they can do on stage that they've never been able to do before. You got a car going in the air, flipping upside down in Back to the Future on stage. It's amazing. It's great.
And just being a part of the Broadway community, you made your Broadway debut in Rent. It changed your life. What it means to you just doing this, walking through the stage door, signing in every night.
You know what? It means a lot. It just means, as far as, people, it means a lot of different things. As far as I have some sort of a name, so people enjoy and want to come see me, which is great. Thank goodness I don't suck and actually have the talent to do this. Let's be real, not everybody has, the mental capacity in the sense of being able to do multitask like that. It is very demanding on certain levels. And, it's just rewarding all around. I love being able to tell a story. Yeah. I love being on live stage. You get the instant gratification right there, as opposed to being on film, which film is great, but getting the instant laughter, and you never know what's going to happen. And if something screws up, that is just show business, and the show must go on, and you just got to keep going with it and see what happens.
Finally, what are you enjoying the most about being back on Broadway?
Just being back and singing songs. Just lovely, just doing the performances and being in New York City. Seriously, I mean, I'm originally from Brooklyn. Being back home and being here in the city, obviously not the warmest time to be out here, but you make do, and it's a blast.